Go to the door. You gotta go out. Hello, hello, welcome to Piece of Pat Paints. I'm Pat. I paint little things on the internet. I should turn that light off. I don't know why I'm going to turn it off so I can just turn it right back on, but it does make it to where it's a little bit easier to see me, with the exception of the glare in my glasses, which is, that's kind of fun. But it'll change colors too, because I have a lamp on my desk change colors. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. Welcome to the show. It's a Monday. I don't know what day you're actually watching this. It could be 5 years from now. How weird would that be? Anyway, yeah, we're sitting around here. It's been raining, getting some things done, getting some. I've been really cleaning the studio, trying to get some stuff reset, and kind of, you know, every about twice a year, I like to like strip stuff out and kind of figure out a new setup so it can get a little bit easier. Plus, I had to make a lot of room for some plants. I got to bring some plants in because it's almost time for that, which is another like why I do it twice a year, because you know then the plants will leave and you might as well clean everything up because now the plants have left. And yeah, there you go. Not that we don't have plants in here all year long. There's some specific plants that anyway, and that doesn't matter. This isn't plants plants. This is pieces Pat paints. So anyway, hey, it's Sir McBeardsly. Good to see you, sir. So we are here going to get started. Continue on our journey with our dwarves. Let me get things set up here so I can get my own channel going. Apparently, we had a bot run. Oh man, I'll tell you what. Hold on, let me back up. Poxwalker video did absolute gangbusters on Saturday. Big run for us, like that. We're not that popular yet, so like 1,500 views is huge for us. So we had a big video pop real hard, and then the next day I posted another video that was the Plague Marines, and it started to run, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and the view count went down, and like went down drastically by like 100 some odd views. And then we had gained a subscriber off of it, and then the subscriber went away, and then somebody was like, "Oh, it's bots, it's bots." Because I was asking some people on a forum about it, and they're like, "Oh man, it was probably bots." And I was like, "Man, why, in God's green earth, would you have? What's the point? What's the point of having a bot go watch videos on some random dude's channel, like?" Or unless you're trying to help me, which I understand, but eventually YouTube finds it and takes away the views anyway. It's kind of frustrating though, because you're like, man, especially when you're early on in the creation scheme of things, where I'm at in the creator circle on the YouTube deal. It's very frustrating because you lost all that time or all those views. And time. Some of it's view time. I mean, not with the shorts, you don't get quite as much of the view time. So at least it didn't hurt that bad. It was just a little irritating. I'm just complaining. What a first world problem to have. Huh? That and being out of water actually should be just right. So strip the pad. You want this to be. I often overwater it. This is actually perfect, where you can see the water. I don't know if you can actually, you might be able to see that. You can see the water come up from Yeah, I mean, like I said, if it is somebody out there that's trying to help, I really appreciate the help. It just doesn't. It doesn't like they take it away from you eventually. But you know, I do appreciate that. I appreciate the help. People want help, but you know, we can do this organically. You know, we can do this organically. I'm all right with that. It's kind of fun that way. It feels more. It feels personal right now because it feels like it's like, man, YouTube always keeping me down, man. But they're not. It's just, you know, whatever it is. And I don't even know that like bots necessarily like are aimed at people. Like I think it might be aimed at certain genres of things, like to make things more popular or something like that. And so like people program these bots and then send them out to do it. I can't imagine it would be like sabotage. Yeah, I had somebody on there was like, "Oh, they're trying to sabotage your channel," and I'm like, "Man, that's super doubtful. I really don't think that it's something that would be because that doesn't make any sense. You can't really sabotage this channel. We haven't really done much. You know, we're not that big a deal. So what would be the actual point in sabotage? Yes. So you know, it seems like I said, it seems to me like it might be something where somebody was trying to help out. You know what I mean? Or it's just one of those random things where it's like, oh, this guy's doing miniatures for, you know, whatever. And so it decides to bot that channel, or that one was 40K stuff. So it could just be people botting 40K to make 40K more popular because they feel like, you know, they're doing their part. So anyway, we're going to get our palette reset here. I'll start off with a little bit of burnt umber, a big favorite of mine. Burnt umber is brown, for those of you who don't know. Your full-on color palette yet, as far as like old school names. If you're new here, we don't use a lot of like, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of the names. Citadel. We don't use a lot of like Citadel's paints because I just don't. I was trained on thicker paints. So I guess so used to being on having those that's what I always used. So that's why I use, and you'll notice like my paint is way thicker. Like it stands up on the palette. You can play with it. So anyway, it's a little thicker. Now that being said, we don't want it to be that thick when we put on them all. So we're gonna put a little water in it in our brush and use that to thin it out to the texture we want. I'm trying to figure out a way to like set this where we can. I've almost got this figured out, y'all. I swear. I want to get it to where we can get like the palette and really be able to see what I'm doing at the same time. That's not bad. Weekend wrapped up for you. Went out on Saturday to girlfriend's mother. Yeah. Went out with the Barnes and Noble in Norman. Had Tamashi Ramen downtown. Yeah, nice. To Custard Factory. What Custard Factory? Any good? I actually haven't had that one yet. If it's good, I might take Chris. We're always there. We're always looking for stuff to do down there when we're down there. Alright, this guy's good there. Put another coat on this beer stein. Other stein. You can really see how it starts to saturate on that second coat a whole lot more. First coat basically just like reminds you that it's going to be brown. You come back and do it, right? All right. Her. Going real slow here on doors. We decided that this was wood, so we're going to add that here for it. And I'm going to put this on the inside as being wooden as well. Custard area was good. Very simple, nothing too crazy. Yeah, Tamashi's always good. Not sure your table cam is off. It's a little hard to see what you're doing. Man, it's probably the light. Yeah, I moved a bunch of stuff around. There we go. That should pop it up. That's brighter. You can kind of see the palette back there, right? There we go. Hopefully that's better. I moved. I now have like 2 of these pads on this table, so like the whole thing has a protective cutting mat on it, which is great. But it did shift everything kind of down a little bit to the right, and I'm definitely trying to get everything redialed in to where it looks right. A lot of this comes down to do with the light, though. I'm always trying to figure out, because you can see when you start moving the light around how it really affects it. And what's crazy, it's what really is fun is that the best light for the miniatures is the one that like is the hardest to paint in, because the light's almost right in my eye. I need to get a scoop for this ring that like scoops the light down. Yeah, it's the light and the angle. It's just a little bit of dialing in. I appreciate you helping me. Thanks for hollering. Hey, it's Sean. Welcome back. Let me see you. Okay. Gotta get the leather out for her. Picked up a Mediterranean textbook. Oh, fun. I like books too. Man, I hate getting recipes off my phone too. Like honestly, I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather get my recipe somewhere else. A book is nice. You can open it up. Although a lot of my recipes now are in my head. Although I will say this, Kristen kept the old Amici in Movimento cookbook, so I still have that book or those recipes. Technically, she has them. I'm glad she did, because I was gonna burn them. Drank way too much beer. Yeah, that's good. You're not working tomorrow. Make sure you go get like a probiotic drink, man. For real. Take it from an old timer. Go get yourself some You need a little bit of. If you can stomach some yogurt or something like that, you gotta get your flora and fauna in your gut is all messed up. That's the old timer secret there, y'all. I don't even like yogurt, but I definitely would. That's why I always like to try to eat like a nice enzymatic fermenty kind of thing the next day. Something that's got the good bacteria in it. Gotta restore your gut health. That's how that. What's that name? There's a whole company that does them now, that makes a drink that you can just buy and you straight drink it when you're done. Seems pretty cool, man. It's a good one. It's a good idea. It works too. Like, it's not, dehydration is part of it, but some of it is, you know, a lot of it's what's in your guts that makes you all messed up. I'm drinking right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that'll definitely do it. English dude on a beach. That's pretty freaking red, man. I gamble him. Look like a freaking ham out there, man. You're roasting in the sun, mate. Yeah, I dig that. Books are. There's something about flipping through a book that definitely is different, and if it gets your creativity going, that's what's important. If it gets you in the mood, or makes it. It really, you know, my philosophy. Cooking is really about making sure you're trusting the process, and you're just minding your details. And however you get those details, as long as you're minding those details, you're doing fine. It's similar to miniature painting, you know. Keep up with your details, take a look at what you got, and then keep that stuff consistent, you know. Cooking is 100% about consistency too. You want it to be good, it needs to be. You got to be consistent with what you're doing every time you turn over the steak. You want it to be a consistent way you're turning it the same amount of times. It cooks evenly. And there's all these things that go into cooking that require consistencies. I swear to God, that's a dog on that dang door. She got me this on, like, right as I was getting started today. She wanted to go out. Now she's gonna want to come back in, like right here. 17 minutes in. Doggo. The Pupperino. We're gonna wait till she barks, though. She's just doing the pawing at the door right now. Okay, that looks like some sort of a pouch, maybe? Look lovely against that blue. And that's gotta be your belt right here. This sounds weird, but there's a real big ridge there that would be the top of her belt. So you kind of want to come through and just apply a little bit of color here. Don't worry about what it looks like right now. Once we put the washes and stuff on, that you won't see it. Oh no, olive oil. Let's see. Whoa, guys. Whoa, I gotta catch back up. Mediterranean food is good. Bit oily. Yeah, you've got to be careful with the amount of oil. A lot of times the best way to do with oils in the Mediterranean is to add other things to them, things that are starchy, to kind of thicken up the oil itself, so you don't have to use so much of it. Yeah, you need good quality with one. Take a full shot of it. Yeah, good extra versions like that. But you're overseas, here in America, buying a good olive oil. Man, it really depends on what you're gonna do with it. I like if it's Sicilian or Cretan, are two of my favorites. There, she's barking now. Or but you can't go wrong with a decent Italian one. The thing with so you can't really cook with it at all. Yeah. If it's super fine quality, then you don't want to get it hot, because if it's extra virgin, once you get it hot, you're actually ruining what made it good. If it's high quality extra virgin, because once you get it hot, it kind of messes it up. So you want a regular olive oil. Now the thing with that is you want stuff that's actually been bottled in Italy and shipped if you can get it. Right now, that's super expensive. But usually, if you're typically go buy it from your higher quality stores, if you're concerned with the level of quality, you know what I mean. Like, there's a big difference in buying olive oil from Walmart versus buying it from, say, Whole Foods or something like that, or Trader Joe's. You're just gonna have a different kind of deal. The tariffs are crazy. The tariffs are super crazy. Okay, I'm gonna be like right back though. I'm gonna let this dog in, and I'm gonna rap about some tariffs for a second, because there's some stuff that's going on. It's wild. All right, but I gotta let this dog in. Yeah. Yeah, the tariffs are crazy. So it's getting to where you can hardly bring in, or you can hardly get stuff that's coming from overseas. Yeah, 100% on China is nuts. And then China's coming back with reciprocal tariffs. So not only is it coming, or oh man, it's crazy. So not only are we getting bit one way, we're getting bit both ways. And the people who really pay for this are the folks at the very bottom that can barely afford to pay for it anyway. And it's going to end up breaking our system. Now we can get into a conversation of whether or not that's the point, but it is definitely not a good idea. This is a bad idea. What they're doing right now, if we're lucky, it's just gonna cause a recession. If we're real unlucky, it could crash the global market. The entire global market might completely self implode. In which case, we're definitely in for a world war at that point. Because people, some of these other countries won't have any other options. And then what do we do? Where are we at with that? Where are we at then? Yeah, man, that's probably true. But even if they do that, so you're still paying. We're still paying the price for those living in the States. You're still paying the price, because the Chinese. You think the Chinese are going to ship it to Vietnam and then ship it over here and not increase the price on us anyway to make up the price for the tariff? Yeah, nah, they're gonna. The American consumer is about to get screwed, and it's not even they're not even hiding it. I mean, I guess they're trying, but it's definitely not a good idea. The whole situation is a bad idea. You don't. I don't know. It's this old idea of how trade is supposed to work. This idea that they think things can be that way again is a misnomer. Like, it's just you can't actually do that. You say that on a campaign trail or whatever to get votes, but you can't actually make that happen in reality. Two more years ago. Well, kinda. I don't know. So okay. Here's the interesting thing. Trump can't technically, if Congress wants to, they could stop all of this, because Trump can't technically set trade like that. That's not exactly how that works. So like he's, but right now the Republicans control everything, so they don't really need to stop it. He's kind of, you know, they're all trusting what he's saying, and they're running with it, you know, because to them, you know, he's got them their power that they have right now. So he, you know, so they buy into his bullshit to a point, and there'll be a point that eventually comes to where they'll turn on him. But gosh, only God only knows how long that's gonna take. It could be a million years from now. What am I gonna make this guy? Hammer. Come on. There we go. I need to figure out what to do with this hammer right here. The top of that thing. I don't know if I want to make it metal. It looks like something that would be cool to make it like a stone. Like a piece of carved stone. You're going to smack you with it. Oh. What if... Man, what if we made like marble? Hold on. I got like an idea. I don't know if it's going to work. I like a big old piece of gin. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. We have two right now. We have a guy and a gal. Come on. Camera. Play nice. Almost grabbed it. There we go. They look great. So we got to finish this up. And these are the testers. I really kept meaning to get these done and get on to the other stuff. But I got real broke off in cleaning this room up. I took out like, I don't know. I filled up one of our bins out here, which that's a big trash can. I threw away a lot of old junk I've been keeping that I was like, oh, I can use that to make this or make that. And if I have something like that in here and I haven't done anything with it in X amount of time, I decide it's time to let it go and I throw it away. That amount of time depends greatly on what the item is. You know, there's certain rare finds that I can't give up easily on. Like the wheelchair I found. I found a wheelchair. I don't know if I told you all this, but it's one of like the super old ones from this like a psych ward in the 80s or something like that, or 70s, 80s. It looks awful. It's that horrible green that's almost scary. You know, it's not quite military green, and it's not. It's really hard to like explain it other than like psycho mental hospital green. And so I found it on the side of the road. It's in perfect working order. I'm like, man. It sat up there for a couple of days before I took it to. I was just making sure it was, you know, somebody wasn't going to come back and get it. It sat in the exact same spot for several days. And I was like, man, I'm totally getting ready to nick that thing. Man, I'll tell you what, one of the things that changed in here is the storm. It's like really dark in here today. That's nice. Yeah, this is where we want to be, right? I think we got ourselves reset, guys and gals. and ghouls of all ages. So excited for Halloween. We're gonna do like a haunted train ride kind of deal. Not exactly sure. I don't know all the details about it because I definitely just want to go have fun, not worry about it. I don't want to think about what all is going to happen. I'm just gonna experience it. But it looks like a lot of fun. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to switch over. Like these Windsor Newton is an import, so I got to start switching over. Luckily, Golden is an American product, so it looks like I'm switching everything over to Golden for the next couple of years, which I don't mind. Golden's a really nice company, both really great companies. So I highly recommend Windsor, and definitely recommend Golden acrylics. But like I always say, my stuff's way thicker. I use a way thicker paint, so it may not be for you. It may not be, it just kind of depends. Everybody a little different. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna shake this and let it sit so the bubbles calm down. Now, if I want to make this look like marble, I'm gonna put a couple little little splotches. Maybe a line, vein or two. These will look a little bit different than, say, the cracks. And you can make them sharp, you can make them soft. If you're gonna make them sharp, try to make it like a real hard straight lines. There's a bunch of different things you can do here that'll make it look like what you want. And just experiment, play around with it. You're gonna have, you different kinds of patterns, textures. Don't be afraid to look at some different things, for inspiration. And I'm also going to come through and put some like white dots on it. You don't want them to be like polka dots. You just want them to kind of be like spots. And when we put our next layer on there, it's going to help that really stand out. Kind of already almost looks like a stone now, right? this is just an Indian ink. Grass green, I think, is the color it's called. I'm definitely not trying to like smear anything I put on that's going underneath this, so be super careful with that. We definitely want to find the crevices. What are these dwarves for? It's for sale. They come. Sorry, that was a goof. I'm a goofball. Their Artisan Guild is the company. Now they have their own little kind of a skirmish game that they have with their miniatures. They started out just kind of like designing miniatures for whatever, and then they built a kind of a game around it. Guild Hall or something like that. I can't remember the name of the game. But I paint them because I sell them at different events and stuff. So I go to or my Etsy shop. If people want to buy a dwarf, they need a dwarf, they can buy it on my Etsy shop. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. It's a little different than, like, the Warhammer stuff was a commission. And we'll get back to some Warhammer soon. I have down here, let's see. I got some Necrons I gotta get done. Yeah. I got that guy. I gotta do this guy. This is for one of my son's armies. No, I have multiple sons that have different armies. It's just so I make that clear. I don't have one son with multiple armies. And then I've got a whole bunch of Skitarii that I bought secondhand and stripped. And we gotta clean these up. So this is kind of a fun deal. So I might do these guys. I actually might do these guys next. So they've been stripped and scrubbed. They were just spray painted red, which that sucks. But it looked like the guy was probably in a hurry and just trying to get his models on the table, which is completely understandable. It just as a painter, you gotta come back through here and you gotta. Any one of those. What's that guy got on eBay Miniature Rescues? That guy's got a really cool thing. What's that thing? It's called a sonic cleaner. It's like a jewelry cleaner, and it vibrates the pieces really in a sonic way and pulls all the dirt and stuff out of it. It's really cool. It's for cleaning jewelry. Okay, so now as we're drying, you can really see. Oh, maybe not. There we go. Yay! It pulled it in really nice. So you can see how all my work underneath there is really kind of starting to look a little bit like marble. I feel like I got that side the best, but you can also come back through with a little hint of gold or a fleck of bronze or a fleck of silver or something like that to kind of really pull it over into the next level of looking like a piece of stone. Anyway, it's just one trick too. There's so many tricks, guys. Totally pick up as many as you like and use the ones you like. I'll say that, man, about miniature painting. If you find a trick you like, that you should use that trick. Use it. Use it as many times as you want so you get good at it. Use that trick because it's there's only so many ways you can paint a little piece of plastic or in this case resin. And now that tried out, I don't know that is wood, but I like it being wood. These boot fronts need a little more coverage. I'll go through and start checking everything before we apply any washes. This is Lead Belcher here. For those of you following the palette at home. I'm trying to get I have my next show is the 1st of November, so I'm trying to get all these guys ready by then so we can sell them. Two armies. Oh, no, okay, so we've got, okay, in this house, let me think. I'm gonna start counting armies, and I'll tell you. Okay, so we have Grey Knights. We have, well, yeah, we'll start off with the oldest. So we have the Grey Knight. This is my oldest, or the oldest army I have. And then we have a Tyranid army and a Dark Angel army, and those are mine. Japan White Grey Knight GW. Yeah, I don't like the GW Grey Knights. Let's see. I'm working on. I need to finish this up because it's almost done. But I was working on this Grand Inquisitor. He's got a tabard. He's in this arm. It hangs on chains. It's great. And then I custom made a shield for him. So I thought that was, it's kind of fun. And I tried to keep it wooden looking, like it's a giant piece of wood that they've painted up. But I still have to do the sword, and there's a lot of like little details that got to get fixed. Got to put all the stuff on there. And I bought this kit, was already second hand and missing parts, and because the top of this, or this guy that's in here, is actually an older. That's an older knight that was missing parts, so I sculpted him into it. That's one of the old style Terminators. But yeah, I haven't. That one's old. Yeah, the GW. I don't like a lot of GW's paint jobs when it comes to the Grey Knights and a couple of the other ones. But some of it's cool. The heavy metal style is very interesting. It's definitely not easy. Like those guys, the way they put those highlights on there is very difficult. So you totally have to give them credit, but it's not really my style either. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Not exactly my thing. I'm going to try to keep a lot of these schemes super simple, so it's easily repeatable. Because I have license to these guys. I have a license to print and paint and sell, and I can sell these minis like unpainted too. I really need to do that. Well, I gotta get my printer back to work, or get a new one. Probably gonna have to get a new one. Not happy about that. Not happy about that. It got resin in the motor, and the motor seized up. I put a new motor in it, but I can't figure out how to recalibrate the motor to work properly. So I'm starting to get a little frustrated. Okay, now she's got just a tiny little bit of pants showing under there. I'd loathe to do them blue or his red. We could maybe do that Payne's gray color. That might look good. Although it looks kind of like armor, or not armor, the gray plastic of the model, unless you do it just right. So don't make it too light, or it'll look like the resin or model plastic. That's always an interesting thing to have to be mindful of, is making sure you, when you put the paint job on there, it doesn't look like you didn't put a paint job on it at all. Yeah, that looks good with the gray underneath. Okay. That'll work. Yeah, there are. I don't know. It's a cool idea. The Grey Knights were a cool idea. I just wish they had executed some of those models better. It's even better in like the art. A lot of the art looks better. I don't know. There's a lot of the faction stuff looks better in the art than it does when they put the miniature out. I'm starting to feel like a lot of GW's miniatures have caught this, where it's doing this thing where it feels like they're just regurgitating the same thing. It feels like it's the same poses. They just kind of like change what's in there, you know, a few little pieces here and a few little pieces there, and just spit out another piece, which I don't know that I like. It's one of the things I like about independent creators like the Artisan Guild here. This is he really kind of put some thought into it. He's trying to make something he likes too, you know. There's an artistry to it and a little reputation going on, and you know, I like that sort of thing. It makes me feel good as a person to support that sort of thing, you know. And yeah, I mean, they probably have several employees at this point, but they definitely didn't start out that way. I mean, neither did GW, but you know, now they're grifters. At least it feels like it. God, it feels like GW's grifting people. All that little plastic can't cost that much, I swear. I don't know, maybe it does with the tariffs. Oh. That makes you feel bad immediately. Oh God. Ooh. I want to put. I know. Pull out rough iron for this beard. Okay. Put it all up in the cap again. It is. I don't know what it is about army painter caps, but man, paint sure does like to collect in there. You shake it, and the paint collects in the cap. It's like one of the only paints I know that. And look, it's already oozing out, and all I did was shake it. And ugh. I like that, the old rough iron. The iron. It's the Iron Beard tribe. That's a bronze there. Iridescent bronze by golden acrylic. Probably my favorite metallic paint in existence, if I'm being honest. I can be a pirate with a printer and it doesn't fly. Oh man, at least they're, yeah. Man, yeah, whoever dropped their whole, what was it? It's like their whole catalog got dropped. So now people have access to it. Like, oh yeah. Somebody got fired. You know somebody got fired. Security firm that was in charge. Terminated. Second. Thigh pad there. Yeah, I'm a big fan of printing. And I like I said, I love supporting other artists like that too, because that's one of the things about printing a piece, or paying a subscription to get these pieces, is that I feel like, you know, I'm helping support other artists, and you know, through their work they're helping me, you know, and it's because I'm making money painting them and selling them, and there's a little community. It's great. Thundernaut, hey buddy, just dropped out of curiosity. I don't watch people paint. Keep up the good work. Have a great day painting sessions. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Here, check that guy out. Got a nice little hammer on. Yeah, come on, Mr. Camera. Steve, focus. If we stick him all the way up and bring him back. Yeah, it's all right. So, yep, little green stone hammer. It's liking her today. It keeps jumping on her real easy. It will not let us see the guy. I don't know why. I don't know enough about technology to be able to do anything with it. I'm getting better all the time, though. I keep learning. Let's see. Man, that axe has got all sorts of stuff on it. Alright, we're just gonna drop a regular old metallic on this. Lead Belcher. Oh, might come back and pick some stuff out later, because it looks like a, I don't know, it looks like a axe beak. Maybe that's, maybe that's what they're trying to do. Man, that's awesome. Appreciate the shout outs. It really is a lot of fun to be able to kind of hang out and paint, chit chat with people. Slowly get some YouTube dollars. My main goal is to get YouTube to pay for my art supplies. If I could do that, man, oof, that'd be huge. I'd be so happy. The first day they send me a check, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna be on here like, oh my god! It's probably never gonna happen, but it's still fun to train for me. I don't know. I just don't think that. The things they want to monetize are gonna be people like Mr. Beast and stuff like that. I don't even think they monetize a lot of those political channels, if I heard right. That's a lot of fun. Yeah. I like that. Just a little inlay. Maybe a little impractical, but really neat to look at. Heck yeah. Still need to do her boots. The metal parts in my head. Glad I waited. I'd have to be doing anyway. Okay. There's a little one here. There. Check all your little buttons. Check all the studs. Should get pretty close. Let's see. 50 so almost time to call it quits. I want to get back on to. I gotta get to work. Actually, I gotta go change the tire. Tire going down on me, and then I gotta go to work. Okay, well, oop, overstretched myself. I don't know why I'm obsessing with this right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Thanks everybody who stopped by to watch us. Big shout out to Beardsley, Fionn, and Thunderknot for jumping in the chat. Always nice to have some people to chit chat with. It makes it go by real fast, and it makes it feel like we got a little fun community thing building around here, which is a little bit of the idea. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow because today is only Monday. We got plenty of stuff to get done, so we're gonna get we'll get this knocked out. I think I should be able to get some more stuff done this evening because I don't have anything going on tonight. And I got all my chores done cleaning up in here over the weekend. So tomorrow I'm hoping we've got part of a squad, part of a platoon of dwarves all filthy and stinking. So that'll be great. And at least get them all the way up to oh. Hi, I want to learn how to paint. See the on towel model, but I can't make it white. I use Corax white, 3 layers. Oh, okay. So white is super hard. I don't like Corax white. I actually use a completely different white. The one I use is my golden acrylic. Now this is a way thicker paint, so you have to thin this down. But because it's thicker, its coverage is better, and the pigments in it are of higher quality, so they'll coat a little bit better. You might need y'all also. I like to put a very faint tan, almost like if you're using Citadel colors, use like Screaming Skull. Put some Screaming Skull underneath your white, because you don't want to. because like gray here, the gray is always going to bleed through because it's like there's a blue pigment in there, and blue catches the eye. So like if you put like you do like a gray sear, then yeah, it's probably gonna bleed through. Maybe that could be part of your problem. But like the Screaming Skull by Citadel, I have some right here. This is gonna be, if you put this under there and then you put the white on top, it'll look a lot more white. Also, like airbrushing, if you're trying to do white, honestly, if you can get your entire base coat on there with an airbrush in white, then that's super helpful. I don't do airbrushing on the show because not everybody has them and it's loud. I hate that compressor, drives me nuts. I always think that that's all you're hearing on the mic, and the paranoia makes me crazy. So, but yeah, I would try those, see if that works for you. White is just tricky. It doesn't because white is so hard of a color for the pigments, the stuff that actually goes in the paint that makes it, show the color. Because you had two parts to pigment, a medium and a pigment. So, but yeah, try from the base, go to a Screaming Skull, and then try the white on that, and see if that comes out a little bit more with what you're wanting it to look like. Because it sounds to me like the gray is bleeding through, and that's what's happening. So hopefully that answers your question, my friend. Well, it's always so. Yeah, kind of. You're absolute white is you're there's a lot more to it than that. You want to bring it up instead of trying to go from gray from like because gray sear I think is like it's like a Payne's gray a little bit, but it's yeah. If you layer it up, it'll do it. Yeah, that's fine, totally fine. Citadel colors are fine, and it's a decent paint, really. But I've always found the Corax white to be chalky, and that to me that makes it's okay. When it dries really well. And it's nice. A lot of times it's nice and smooth. It doesn't get streaky, but because they're doing that, its coverage isn't quite as intense. So, so you could definitely shoot for another type of white and see if that works. Or like I said, I would try doing the Screaming Skull and then white after that, just because of the way your eye's gonna see it. Because like white, when you see white in general, it never is actually white. Like okay, so like look at the fear is here. Like this is white, but it's not all exactly pure white, and it's not exactly like all the same white. And if I move, it changes because white reflects colors versus something like black, where on this side, black is going to be something where the colors start to not reflect. We're not going to get any kind of reflection or anything like that. Where white is going to reflect a lot. So, if you want it to look more like a pure like tau white, I would do Screaming Skull under my Corax. That was a long way around. I hope that answered. It sounds like it answered your question. Yeah. Try give it a try. Give it a try. Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't have to be this one. You could use a Winsor & Newton, or any of your higher end acrylics. And those are going to gotta be like an art shops, like actual art stores, and it's gonna be a little thicker, so you're gonna want to water it down, but it'll definitely help. Hey, no worries, brother. Yeah, or sister. I don't actually know. I always call her. I call everybody brother. I've gone over this like a million times, but I don't actually pay attention to who. I know Sir McBeardsly is a dude because I know him personally. I've met him in person. I know that guy. So, but sorry if I assume anything. I try not to. I'm old, guys. So like I say weird things like that because my life, we didn't grow up like that. It's a little different. But I'm trying to be a better human being. We should all do that. Speaking of which, be good to yourselves. Be good to somebody else. Be good to people you don't know. Just, spread a little good out there. It's, that's what we used to be. We used to all be in this together. And, it's a scary train ride, this thing we call life. So it's always better with friends and people to kind of help you along the way. So anyway, yeah, thank you so much. And so, yeah, big shout out to Prite Sprite, Thundernaut, Fionn, and Sir McBeardsly, famous moderator. So, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. And other than that, we'll talk to you later. Bye.